When I first heard about Cthul You, I was skeptical to say the least. Like most people, I thought anything that promised so much had to be bogus. Like one of those online dating sites populated by 24,753 lonely IT technicians seeking potential girlfriends of the female variety and no potential females waiting to be befriended. I was glad that kind of thing wasn't really my scene, but then being a follower of the occult wasn't any easier. So when the email that would ultimately lead me to my Dark Lord and Master appeared in my inbox, you can be sure I had my reservations. Sometimes in life, it's the way you stumble into things that makes them special. A friend told me about some other friend who swore they could forward me some email with a link in that would take me to the only site of its type on the net. From the get-go, the site strikes me as interesting. Usually the photos of animal sacrifice are obvious fakes, but not here. And you could tell that the guy advertising for a demonic soulmate was displaying real horns, not the joke shop variety. All the pics here were real original. And they got me real excited. So I signed up. Now, if I wasn't sold before, this hooked me. At first, I took it as a problem. I'm typing in my member name, Typhine 2352 BC, when a little red name already registered sign flashes up. This surprises me. I use that name everywhere. Typhine is my favorite non-corporeal demon entity. 2352 BC is the date of the last true pan-astral invasion. Maybe 5 other people in the world could tell you who or what Typhine is, and the debate is still raging about whether pan-astral planes even exist. Finding these combined together? Never gonna happen. Before I know it, I've hit enter. I'm expecting a rejection, but instead, a profile page comes up. In my name. My real name. The one my mum, who wouldn't sleep well if she knew I was a cultist, calls me. What do you know? I think. I already joined. But I didn't. But I am. At the bottom of the page, where I'd expect to see Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal logos, are a bunch of arcane sigils so small I can barely read them. I scroll through it all until I reach, I understand the conditions under which I enter into this agreement, and tick accept. Nobody ever reads the legalese. Race. Mortal. Body. Human. Obese. Smokes. No. Drinks. Rarely. Drugs. Ceremonial only. Sacrifices. Every day. Languages. English, fluent. Latin. Sumerian. Klingon. I am looking for a genuine, involved, and determined demonic entity. I've had too many experiences of dark powers whose only interest is in making themselves look bad. I want to see this world destroyed. I want you to want that too. My life. I work in a Burger Boy because people make me sick. And at Burger Boy, I get to make people sick. I only eat Burger Boys and now weigh 250 pounds. I want to be obese. When this world burns, my flesh will fuel the flames. Things others think about me. I'm fat and ugly. I've not always been fat. I've always been ugly. No one I know now remembers I used to be average weight. No one I know now thinks anything about me except, who is that ugly fat person? This is the way I want it. Message me if you want to see this world burn. So I spent most of the night cruising through the personals on Cthul You. I like to have checked out every option before I make a decision, and if that's the case with retail purchases, then it's twice the case when I'm selecting a new Dark Lord to obey. Among the dross, I find some familiar faces. I have pretty good Fadar, so I'm not surprised to find out that JT, my shift manager at Burger Boy, or Miss Stimson, my primary grade school teacher, or even Pastor Miller, all have hardcore demonic tendencies. What got me was that they would be advertising it so blatantly. Did they think a stupid false name and a latex mask could keep that kind of thing disguised? But then I guess it's no different than the stupid disguises they wear in the real world. It's in the nature of the occult that there are far more leaders than followers. Every Joe thinks he has it in him to destroy the world. Most people embrace the occult as a way of making themselves special. They want to rain down brimstone on the world. They want to. It's more important that they do it than that it happens. But they have it all wrong. You want to know about the scene? Rule number 1. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not even about the Dark Lord. It's about destroying the world. That's all you need to know. I went past Mark's profile twice before I even noticed it. The page was almost empty, not even a picture. Mark's words were few and simple, but they burned themselves into my heart and soul. They whispered in my head like a confession from the lips of a murderer. They made me feel like I had never felt before in my life. They gave me hope. Once you give yourself to another, you can never take even the tiniest piece of yourself back. For a year, he commanded me at a distance, but all I dreamt of was seeing him for real. I wanted it so much, but I could only wait for his command. I could not control him. He had to make it happen. I was terrified he would abandon me, so I waited and did exactly as I was told. And then, one day the message came. A street address and a time and his command for me to come. I didn't even think about not going. I had no doubt what I would find. I'm at the door, and it's not like I have any questions. It's not like I'm getting suspicious, but the door is wrong. It's no different to any other door on the street, but then this isn't just any street. I would have to call it an avenue, maybe even a boulevard. I guess I didn't picture Mark living somewhere like this. A castle, maybe, at the top of a mountain, or even an MTV celebrity crib. But not this place. It's just so suburban. The lady who comes to the door is pure wasp. From her twin set in pearls to her blonde curled hair with the permatan skin and red lipstick smile. But not at all sexual, like she has all of the signs of, but none of the threat. "Mark?" she says as the red lips smile in greeting. "Why, yes. Who should I say is calling?" Is this the maid or something? Beneath her pleasant demeanor, I can see the look of disgust that flickers past her eyes as she beckons me through the door. At 250 pounds, I was vast. Now at 300, I'm a monster. Add to that my permanently attached Burger Boy uniform, and I must stink like one. We go through to what a realtor would describe as a spacious living room, with the kind of shiny hardwood floor people get careers as divorce attorneys so they can afford. It's toasty warm inside, like a shopping mall, only with air that hasn't been breathed 20 times before. There's a log fire crackling in the hearth. In front of the fire stands this guy with his back to me. He's tall and slender like an athlete, dressed in beige slacks and a jersey so expensive it shows no brands. He flashes me a smile of ice-white teeth and a haircut I've only ever seen before on network news anchormen. "Hi, I'm Mark's father." Oh boy. "And you must be a friend of Mark's?" "Kind of, Mr. Mark's dad. I'm Mark's first true follower. I owe everything to Mark. If I were a sentence, I'd be on Mark's lips. If I were a weapon, I'd be in Mark's hand. I can and will kill on Mark's command. Yes, I say. Idiot! We're always happy to welcome a friend of Mark's. The blonde woman reappears under Mark's father's outstretched arm. Dad almost hides the "who the hell is this" look he shoots Mom. It doesn't matter. They'll burn with the rest. But they won't, the voice of doubt begins to tell me. Well, says Mom, Mark is in his room. You can go on up. In his room, I think, as I lumber up the grand, curving stairwell. Mark is playing Xbox when I first see him. He doesn't even look at me where I stand, my bulk filling the door to his room. He just sits on the edge of his bed, fixating on a 72-inch widescreen TV as his thumbs manipulate the controller. On the wall is a huge Yu-Gi-Oh poster. I didn't even know they made them that big. The rest of the room looks like the R&D section of Toys R Us. He says hello, but I barely hear him. I'm breathing so hard. I'm wheezing like some terrified animal being dragged to the slaughter. I hate the wheezing. It's the only thing I don't like about the new obese me. He has the haircut Spielberg invented in the 80s. The blonde mop that lets you know, this is a good kid. This is a brave kid. Good and brave. You really are a freak. But this is the Spielberg kid for the new millennium, the emotionally manipulative, spoiled brat who screams for mommy just to make us feel guilty. I thought you would be a chubby, but this is just gross. And what is that smell? The kid stares up at me, eyes shining with a familiar look of disgust and lust. The kids at Burger Boy used to look at me that way, like it hurt, but they just couldn't stop. I used to want it. Now it just makes me feel dirty. My voice breaks as I beg him to tell me the truth. Everything I wrote to you was BS. It was all stuff I found on Google. If you weren't so fat and stupid, you could have figured that out. I am fat and stupid. So, I own your ass now, right? Yes. And you have to do whatever I say, right? I'm yours to command. Cool. I've got hundreds of you suckers now, all obeying my every command. Like my very own army of darkness or something. The kid pushes something into my big, sweaty hand. Part of me expects to look down and see a G.I. Joe. What I see is a knife. Just an ordinary kitchen knife with a wooden handle and a cutting blade. But scrawled onto the metal in magic marker are sigils I know I have seen before. He gives me the command. Soft words with strong meaning. And hidden amongst them, as though whispered from beyond the stars, I can hear the sound of Cthul You calling.
Cthul You by Damien G. Walter was read by Adam Sims. The producer was Gemma Jenkins.